student, okay, so let's start doing the game 9 in Scratch course. So we will be doing a password game where the user need to guess the password and then interact with the game sprite, okay, characters. So let's see the demo of the basic version and challenge version as usual. Alright, so as you can see here, I have one challenge version and one basic version, and let's play the basic version first. Okay, so when I play, it has a background music and it asks you who are you, then we need to input our name inside. Alright, we did something new, that we take the input value and allow the sprite to output the same value that we give to the text box here. Okay, so we were going to learn how we achieve this. And similarly, we're going to use this technique on all the conversations. So let me check the answer. I also forgot the answer. Alright, treasure. So here I should give in treasure. Right, at this stage, after I give in the treasure answer, which is correct, then I will change to another backdrop and proceed with the game. If I gave a wrong answer just now, it will ask me to go back and end the game. Later on, we will do the demo on the wrong answer scenario. Give the passcode to enter this door. Wrong passcode will activate the dragon. Alright, another answer to go. This round is crystals. Is the correct answer. Okay, as you observed just now, there's a door open sound where I have added in to give some fun element in the game to make it a bit real and not so boring. Okay, so here it asks one more question. Wait, you have to give me the exact number of crystals. Alright, so this answer should be, let me see, should be 300. Right, after I win the whole game flow, it gives me a button to allow me to, without stopping the game, and then go back to play again. So this round, let's go try the wrong answer scenario. Okay. Okay, right here, if I'm saying something else like burger, and it will give a different output and then show a game over scene. Now let's try to see the dragon scenario. Okay, the passcode. Let's see, try to give a wrong scenario here, wrong password scenario. Let me give a wrong one. As you can see, the backdrop is changed to fire and a dragon with fire animation come out. Okay, together with the sound. Alright, so as we can do so much in the basic version, what can we do in the advanced challenge version? Actually, let's do the basic version first. At the end of the basic version code, I will show you how the challenge version worked. Okay, so now let's go create a new project. first we will prepare the backdrops. The first backdrop I have is Castle 2. And I would need all the Castle 1 and 3 also. The fire backdrop is not found in here. You can always download from the internet. Here we can actually import from another project window. Let's go export the fire backdrop. Okay, it's export to my download folder, and I can close this, export inside here. Oh, I need to go here though. Okay, so when all the backdrop is ready, then maybe we can start code the game already. The self decorated backdrop like game over, wing crystals, try it again, all those backdrops we can design later, no rush now. So let's start the game flow. Okay, here I will need the code to say in the backdrop. Take note on the blueprint here. In the backdrop coding area here, we need to activate the code where the flag is clicked. I'm going to broadcast start. We will heavily use broadcast in this project because we're going to change on different scenarios, different screen and different behavior. So broadcasting the message is definitely the way to go. So let's do this. Okay, and when I receive start, I'm going to change the backdrop to Castle 2. Okay. Now I will need to delete the card and then import in the character that I need. In other costume of this character, I will need to choose. I think like what I did in the complete game version, I don't need this. I don't need a confused looking character. I will need a firm character looking like this, and I will don't need a friendly looking character too. So this is just nice. All right. Then let's go code the sprite. The sprite in the beginning work from far to near with the size gradually changing to bigger and bigger together with the position change also. So how to do this? After a round of testings, I know the exact numbers, but if you want to go into a different style or different way, you want to come out from the jungle, you need to get the position value different. Okay, so in order to save some of your time, I would just code the position numbers without the testing round because I already tested before. Okay, so when the flag started, I will broadcast the start message also, and when I receive start, then I will need to, okay, this one is hide at first, so I will need to show the character. The reason I need to hide, right, because later we need to hide the character when it go to the game over backdrop or wing crystal backdrop. So we still need to hide the character when we reach there. Then might as well we hide it now, so we can show character when the game start. All right, the position initially will be 153 and 29. I will set the size to 20%. That's a nice size that I tested. The next position A will go to is I will glide 1 second, so it won't be not smooth movement. It will glide 1 second, will allow the character to move smoothly. So the position is 153 on X axis and 29 on Y axis. After this position, the size was set to 50%. Then next, we need to glide one more time. And the correct position I tested is 37. Y is 15. Size would be 100%. And the last glide would be minus 138. That's near the screen really. And X is minus 35. I'm going to broadcast password. So once I broadcast the password message, password text box will pop up. So this one need to code further, but let's test the gliding animation. Okay, right now we can do the test already. So when I click the flag, okay, so it worked as expected. Next, we're going to say what happened after the password message is broadcasted. So here, when I receive password, then I would like to ask at the sensing here, who are you? And let's set the, okay, here is something that is new. So basically, in order to get the answer that user inputted in the text box to the variable, we need the variable to hold the answer. So here we need to create a variable, and that variable name would be answer. Okay, we don't need that variable to show on the screen, but we need the variable to hold the answer that the user gave. So back to the code here, set the answer to 0, no. Set the answer to the answer that the user have given in the text box. Later on will come out below here. Okay, so once I give in the value, it will store inside this answer, and this answer will store inside this variable. Then we can print out the variable. So we say hello, the name, okay, which is already stored inside here. Okay, then we can test whether it works at this stage, because this technique we're going to use on the other part of the game too. All right, so it worked. Now, once we display the name, we get the name answer ready, let's ask the second question. Take note that when you ask the second question, the answer value will override the first answer value here. Okay, so it's a sequential process. So at this stage now, this text box value will override this text box value. Take note on this. So now if I'm checking the answer, and the question will be, why are you here? So I want my answer, I think if block is not enough, we need if else block. And we need to ask the questions with the answer check. So this round, the answer will be a different value I inputted as my name. So this is the purpose of the visit, right? The question asks, why are you here? And I expect the answer to be treasure. So the pass code here should be treasure. Okay, if the answer is equal to this passcode, then we're going to display the output. So before we can display the output, we need to allow the answer to be saved, right? So I will set the answer to a message. And in order to set into a message, I might need to use the join coding block here. So join here basically says that I join the apple and banana together, so it will output apple, banana. But in our case, I want to output different sentence like this. Good. And I will need another join inside here, because I want to display the answer. Oh, sorry, here it's better to save in another variable, because we know that this answer value is overridden already. So better here we need to get another variable to save the name, because we will need the name to display again later at a later stage. So in the variable block, we need to create another variable, which is the name, and this name will be used in here. So instead of saving the answer, we're going to save the name. Okay, and then the answer here would be used in the later stage, but now I want to display the name. I will say good, the name that I input in as Nicole, and here is a long message. I will say waiting you for a long time. Let's go into the castle. Okay, so here I will put this into here. So the whole answer now, because I save assigned to this answer, will contain the whole message here. So this is the value inside here. Now once we get it done, then we can make the character to say out the things we encoded, and this hello will be replaced with this answer. I will increase the second to 3 seconds because the message is a bit long. This one will allow the user to see carefully on the message. Okay, let's test now. Say treasure. Oh, I input the treasure too early, huh? Okay, let's go key in treasure again. Okay, so it worked. Good, treasure. I've been waiting for a long time. Okay, I input the name as treasure, but then it works. Okay, so now let's settle the else part. What if this condition turns false? What happened? We need to fit in the information to the player, right? So the else part would be give another instructions, and I will say turn back now. This is not the place for you. Okay. And I will broadcast end. So the game end. I need a new message. Okay, so at this stage we actually finish only roughly I would say 20% of the game, but end scenario we will do on later stage. Let's continue on the flow set. Imagine now we end the game already. Okay, but what if at here we want to go to somewhere else, right? So we might need to broadcast another message to continue the game. I would say go to castle. Of course, the broadcast message you can design yourself. That's totally fine. No need to follow my broadcast message. Okay, we need to settle the scenario of going to castle message here. The end we will do at a later stage. Okay, so now let's do this. Go to castle. So where is the game that we should do is we need to change the backdrop, right? And in order to change the backdrop, we need to go back the backdrop area, coding area. And it says that when I receive go to castle, I should change the backdrop to castle 1. Okay, and let's test. Okay, it changed to the correct backdrop, but I don't want a do a sudden change. In the demo I did in the beginning of the lesson, it gave a lighting effect, like a white lighting effect to switch the scene. How I did that is I make use of the repeat block. So I repeat 20 times on one instruction, and that instruction is change brightness effect. So here the backdrop here, I change, instead of change color, right, I change the brightness, and each time I want to change by 5. So this one is already a tested number. You can always test your own version and with a different number, so you can choose your favorite presentation. Okay, so not necessary to be 5. It's just that I feel that 5 is working perfectly for my case. So let's test here. So I want to have a lighting effect, and then go to this castle. And I want to reduce the lightings, and in order to do that I need to duplicate this block. Do you see just now the effect? Okay, let's see this, and here let's throw this, we don't need this. Okay, let's test again. Oh, I need to -5 here. Remember to -5 because you increase the brightness, meaning that you change the background to extreme white. In order to see the backdrop again, you need to reduce the white back to the original state. So here, let's test. Okay, so basically it gave an effect of light changing backdrop feeling. So it is not so straight away cut into the next backdrop. I feel it's quite sudden. This one will give a better presentation to your game. So the trick is to change the brightness with some repeated loop. I will say that this is not an undefined loop. This one is defined loop with 20 times. Okay, you can always change the number to the to your own preference. Alright, so after we change to this castle backdrop, we need to back to the character and then ask the second question, right? Okay, so right now when we change the backdrop finish, we need to broadcast another message, allow the character to ask another question. So I would create here room pass message. Okay, room pass. Oh, I would say gate pass. Gate pass is better, more appropriate. We need to pass this gate. Okay, so here, once I broadcast this message, I will need to go to the character coding block, and I need to receive the message and do something. So when I receive gate pass, then I need to ask another question, which is give the passcode to enter the gate. And you need to tell the player that wrong passcode will activate the dragon. So it is extra information that player should be aware. Okay, after that, we are going to do the answer check again. So I will need a if and else block. Okay, so in the condition here, we will need the operators to be ready as usual. And on the left side is the answer as usual. By now you should understand the logical flow here. Now we want to check the answer whether it's equals to crystal. And if the answer is yes, I'm going to, again using the same technique here, you can duplicate this. Yeah, I can just duplicate this. And you can say that if the answer is correct, then we're going to save the answer into the answer message, and then later on print out the answer. But the message need to change a bit. I will say that here is congrats, and the name as usual. Actually, I can't put it here. Put the exclamation mark here. And here I will say the name join with this, maybe a space. Okay. You are able to enter the gate now. Alright, and it will say the answer for 3 seconds, and then now the message, of course, you need to change a new one. Otherwise, if you go to castle, and then the castle backdrop code will activate it again, so we don't want this. So here the message I would say is go to room. Okay, now we settled the if part. What about the else part? Else part should be, since we're going to show the dragon, right? So we need to get the dragon out, and we need the message say broadcast dragon. And how the dragon to be out, we will do it later. Let's finish the main game flow. Show dragon. Oh. After I show the dragon, and the character should hide. Otherwise, the character will be in the stage at the same time. At the same time of dragon, will be weird. Okay, so I hide the character and then show the dragon. All right. So the second, actually, this one is how many questions already? The third question scenario also done already. Right now we need to go to the backdrop code to handle this go to room message. Okay. But of course we can test at this stage now. Okay, I will input the name, and I will go with treasure, so I can change to castle scenario. In the castle, I will give a crystal answer to see the message is out. Okay, good. Let's move on to the backdrop code to handle the go to room scenario. So go to room is when I receive go to room, I would need to duplicate this code, and then in order to change the room one, so only this one would need to change, which is castle 3. The rest is almost the same. Here I would need to change, in order to get the gate pass, I need to write as room pass to activate another code block. Okay, so here Let's test again. Okay, crystals. Alright, great. At this stage, we need to code another behavior from the main character. So the main character code will need to continue to add on, what if I go into the room, what will happen? Right, so after we enter the room, we're going to receive the message. When I receive go to room message, no, is room pass. Remember in the backdrop, after it show the castle tree, it broadcast room pass. So continue on this code here, we need to receive the room pass first, then we react accordingly, and then it will be the saying that here is your rewards. For 2 seconds and broadcast wing crystal. As you can see, our broadcast message getting longer and longer. This is how different scenario game works. You will have a lot of different message to activate different kind of code blocks, and different character react accordingly. Okay, so here I would say the wing crystal message is broadcasted. Once we got to this step, we need to prepare the crystal sprite ready. So go to the sprite library, add in the crystal sprite. Okay, in the crystal sprite, we need to do the first thing is when the game start, right? We don't want the crystal to show, so we need to hide it until when I receive wing crystal. Then the crystal will ask the final question. It would be like wait, you have to give me the exact number of crystals to get your treasure. Okay, and here we will need another if and else block to check. So this is the final final stage ready. So I will check the answer with operator code, answer on the left side as usual. Here the answer should be 300. Then I would need, after the answer is correct, right, I would need to broadcast the treasure screen message, because the backdrop need to change accordingly. Treasure screen, need a new one. Okay, after that, I'm going to keep rotating the crystal costume. So I will need the repeat block, but instead of writing, wait, I need repeat until. So here is if the instruction inside the repeat until block will run until a certain condition is met. I want to leave it empty so that it kind of works as a forever loop. So I go to next costume and create a clone of myself. So it will keep cloning, and when I start as a clone on the side, and I want to show, because all the time we hide correct? So now is the time to show the crystal and go to random position, so it won't overlap at one position. Okay, then what about the else part? The else part will definitely be show dragon. Okay, so if at this stage you got the number round, you will need to see the dragon screen instead of the crystal screen. So with this, I think crystal code is more or less is done. Let's go to the backdrop. So the backdrop, as we can see here, right, we have a broadcast wing crystal. In the backdrop here, maybe we need to design a screen so that when I wing crystal, it should show accordingly. So here, when I receive treasure screen. Then I will need to show the wing treasure screen, but we don't have that backdrop now, so I will need to create one. And I will name this backdrop probably as wing treasure. Okay, I would do a simple purple screen. And you can design like a text above here, but I need to change the color. Like to around here, say diamonds. Change it to curly. Of course, in my own game, I put the design like dots around. You can take your own time to design this text. I won't take up your time to see how I design the diamonds. I think that's a waste of time here, because our main objective is to learn the code, not to learn the design. Alright, but design is really important in the game. I must mention that, but we don't take the time to focus on this. Okay, so after I get the wing treasure screen done, then I can go back to the treasure screen and input this code. Okay, so now let's test the code together with the clone of crystal, see whether it works. Okay, unique. Crystals. $300. Okay, so as you can see here, we haven't had the main character, so we need to update the code and hide the main character. So let's go to the code here and say when I receive treasure screen. This is why we need to test at different stage, because sometimes we might lose some part that we need to add on to. So always test at the different stage of your coding process. Okay, so right now at the treasure screen, the main character should hide himself. Okay, so that's mostly done, but we left off dragon and the dragon backdrop, the dragon and the end scenario. Okay, so at this stage, let's add a dragon sprite. Okay, add the dragon sprite is pretty easy, and same as the crystals. When I receive start, I'm going to clone code into here. I will need to hide the dragon, and when I receive dragon, I should show myself. It's okay, I think we don't need to clone here, we just code. When I receive show dragon, I will need to get a show block and have a forever loop to give an animation of the dragon fire, because now the dragon don't have fire, right? So in order to let dragon have a simple animation of the blowing the fire from the mouth, we need to get a fiber loop with next costume inside. And each costume change, we want to wait for 0.3 seconds. This number I tested before, so you need to test and input your own preferred time. Okay, then when I receive, I need another when I receive show dragon. So this block is to prepare for the sound, but let's leave it for now. The sound part we were doing at the later stage. Let's do the main game flow first. So the dragon is shown. This part we have settled it ready. Next, we need to show the backdrop accordingly, because we cannot show the dragon on the diamond backdrop, right? So into the backdrop panel here, let's add the that's going to use this backdrop as the show dragon together with the dragon sprite. So go to the code, say that when I receive show dragon, and this is the code block we can duplicate. Okay, but instead of broadcasting game pass, we need to throw it away. We don't need to go back to the previous game stage. Okay, so right here I think we are almost there. Okay, we just left some we left one more is the game end. The show dragon scenario already done. Now let's do the game over scene. So go to the backdrop, add another sprite, name it, not sprite, backdrop, name it as game over. And I would like to give a simple design, because as mentioned before, I don't want to waste too many time on the design. Okay. Game over, and enlarge it a bit. Okay, so the game over scene is done. Now back to the code. We need to code it accordingly. So I receive and I will switch the backdrop to game over to handle the scenario properly. Okay, so here since almost everything is done, we might need to, okay, let's test now to have a game over scenario. Okay, let's give this thing wrongly. Okay, we forgot to hide this spread again in the game over scenario. So let's go to here and duplicate this block, change this to the end, and let's test again. Okay, now we gave a wrong password. So it showed the dragon and the main character hide it itself. Okay, so now right, our basic game don't have any background music. It's time to add in the background music now. So you go to the main character code. Let's add a background. When I receive start, we can set the music. Okay, because we need to change the music during the different game phase, so we need to have a variable to hold the music value. Then we can play different music and at different stage of the game. So in the beginning, it will be a quite nice music background. At the dragon scene, it will be a different music background. So in order to do that, we need to have a variable to hold the current music value. So I will create the music variable. And then here, I don't need to show the music though. I need to set the music to garden. And I need the forever loop to keep playing the background sound. So in the forever loop, I check if the music is garden. Then I'm going to play the music garden until done, but now we don't have, so we need to import the music garden inside our project library. Garden. Where is the garden? Oh, it's here. Okay, so let's add it in. Okay, here we want to input into this area. Alright, so now when we play the game, it will have a background sound. Okay, until the dragon part, we want to add in a different music. I will say that now I want to set the music variable to fire. And I will need another similar block here, so no need to code, just put it in, drag into here, and it's duplicated. So here we check if the music is fire. We want to stop all the sound, not all other sound, and play the car horn. Okay, my actually my car horn, I did the music frequency a bit. So let's see. Here, let's search the car horn. I want to find the dragon sound, but you see, the car horn is too, the sound frequency is too high. I want to lower the frequency, so I did it slower, like this. Yeah, it looks like, you know, the dragon sound a bit. Yeah, so this is how I do it, to lower the frequency a bit, and I can do it softer. I think this is good. Okay, so here I would assign this to the car horn. Okay, so the music is done, and let's play the game. I want to add in the try again button. I will show you why. Okay, so here let's input the name, and I say for treasure. At this stage, if I let's go to the room. Okay. Okay, this is the crystal scene, no problem. Alright, now let's go to the end game scene. Okay, so right here, right, I want to add in a button so that without pressing the stop button, I can go back to the first stages. It asks me what is my purpose to be here. Okay, so since we got so many backdrop, since we got so many broadcast message ready, we can easily go to that broadcast stage. Okay, so how to do this? Of course, we need to design a button first. So here, I'm going to add in a button sprite. In the button sprite, I will just remain one. And this one, I will position around here. The color, I would say that I want to change it to other colors. Something like this. And the text I want to input as try it again. And here, let's change the color to white, easy to see, right? Okay, position it properly. Here. Alright, so after the button is done, let's code the button. When the flag is clicked, I don't want to see it, so copy the code into here. Then when the sprite is clicked, so when does it show? When I receive end mark, correct? When I receive end, I will go to current position and show myself. After I show myself, I need to handle the click scenario already, so you need the code for this. When this sprite is clicked, go back to the broadcast start message. So the game just start all over again. So when it start all over again, I need to hide myself. Okay, when I receive the treasure screen, I want to show it also so I can replay the game again. Alright, so that's the code to handle both the end screen and both the treasure screen. So allow the player to replay the game again. You can also do the dragon screen, but I think to me, I would think that if I got the fire come out, I would die already. So since the character die, the player should restart the game to play again. But of course, you know the game design, you are the creator, you design your game flow. This is my own design, so you can take it as a reference or do a totally new version with similar techniques in the code that I show you all. Okay, so here let's test the game. Let's go to the end screen first. Okay, good. At the end screen, when I click here, it should go back to the starting point. Now let's go to treasure screen and start again. Okay, right now we have finished the button code where it allows the user to replay the game without clicking the stop button and play button again at the end screen. So dragon screen, I won't put the try again button over there. After the fire, the player should die and replay the game again. Okay, it's not by the wrong passcode. If it's by the wrong passcode, maybe the player can retry again. But then if in the last stage it go to the fire backdrop, it should really end the game and replay the game again. Okay, so here the next thing or the last thing we need to do is put in some sound effect. So remember, when the door open, it should have an open door sound. So this how to where should we add the sound is at the backdrop. So if I receive the go to room message, I should play a sound. I should start the sound door closing. something like that. Okay, and then back to the code. I need to add the sound under this when I receive go to room message, I start the sound door closing, and let's try to see the effect. Do you hear the door closing sound? Okay, so this will be great to add some extra interactive element plus some sound effect. It will be quite fun to play. But I think the challenge version is much better. So now I have finished the basic version of the game, where it allows the user to interact with the game on multiple question answer scenario, and on different scenario a different backdrop will be shown, a different character will come out. Oh, the show dragon hasn't come out, right? Let's see the show dragon. We haven't heard the show dragon sound, right? Okay, so here is treasure. Let's give a wrong passcode here. So you activate the dragon. Okay, so this is the game that the basic game. How does it look like? Now let's go to the challenge version game and see the difference over there. Okay, let's see the challenge. Alright, when I first start the game, you can see that here got keys found. There's some additional things that we have added. The question is the same. Who are you? Okay, let's input Nick. And okay, where are you there? Then in addition, I give a hint behind, just in case that players really have no clue on what to answer. We are the creators, we know the answer is treasure, but to outside player, they don't really know what to do on this text box. If they can't pass the stage, they can't experience the fun behind. So that it will downgrade our whole game experience. So we need to give a hint here and let player to mix and match the word to the correct one. So let's input in treasure. Now I have give more information in the message here with another hint, and we know the answer is crystals. But maybe players might need to play a few rounds so that it will know what is that exact what they need to input here. Okay, right here, instead of just giving out the another question, ask how many number of crystals we have, we actually do it a bit more interactive. We ask the users or players to find the keys, 3 keys, and each time you click the key, it will go to random position and the size will be smaller. But it's quite easy to find though. Now, at here, we now ask what is the exact number of crystals. Okay, so we get the keys first, then we ask what is the number there. And again, we give the hint. So what is the answer of this math expression? So the answer is 300. Okay, something like this. Alright, so as you can see, the crystals is instead of just 2 crystal costume, I changed the color of each crystal cloned and make them gliding around. So that is the whole challenging part. We have added in a few things inside, like the hint and the find the keys, and we also give in the diamond sound, the diamond sound effect. So all this add up to of course you can see I designed the diamond backdrop a bit. So all this add up to the fun element in the games to make it more attractive to the players. If you find the challenge code is difficult to do or impossible to achieve, you can always approach us for more course details. You can find us on Facebook. At the end of the video, we have our contact details, our website, all have the ways that to find us. We are located in Singapore. Our school center is in Singapore, but if you're in the other other part of the world, you can always email us for the course details. We provide Zoom lessons too. Okay, so without further ado, we will end the lesson here, and I will upload the last lesson in the Scratch course. In the Scratch course soon. The whole Scratch course will be pair lessons. So I will see you soon on the last lesson. The last lesson will be a game that we compete with computers. Okay, so I will see you there. Bye.